and welcome to the 7th meeting of the Civilian Police Review Board. It's good to see, I think, all of the board members are in place. Thank you. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. May I get a motion to that effect? And a second? And there's a second from Mr. Fluharty. All in favor of your approval, please raise your hands. Thank you. It's all passed. We are now going to, after a motion that is approved, we're going into executive session to interview the two finalists for the Inspector General position, Jacqueline Hendricks Moore and David Harper. And so pursuant to the Ohio's Open Meetings Act, the board may go into executive session related to personnel matters. And so this would be a personnel matter. So at this time, I am asking for a motion to go into executive session to conduct interviews and discuss the recommendation to the mayor of an inspector general. Do I have such a motion? So moved. I heard a so moved first and second. So moved by Pastor Nathan and seconded by Dr. Jones. Any questions? Then all in favor of going into executive session, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. We will take just a brief break so that those individuals who need to leave the room can leave, and we can make sure that the taping has stopped. Police Review Board has come out of executive session where we discussed a personnel matter, and we are now back meeting as a public body. Let me just share with the community that in executive session, we had the opportunity to interview, and with full participation of all board members, Mr. David Harper and Ms. Jacqueline Hendricks Moore. Upon the conclusion of the interviews, the board then had the opportunity to discuss, to deliberate, to listen to each other, and then having listened to all of that, the chair asked for a motion to take us out of executive session and to bring us back into public session. I believe from what I was able to gather from our conversation that we are at a point where it'd be appropriate for the board, for the chair to ask if there is a motion from a board member that reflects on how we would move forward.
Absolutely. I move that we appoint Mrs. Jacqueline Hendricks Moore as Inspector General for the City of Columbus.
I second the motion.
Further discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand and keep your hand raised so that we can actually, see. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay. You have it. All opposed to the motion, please raise your hand. Thank you. The motion has passed. Therefore, we, the board, will refer Ms. Jacqueline Hendricks Moore to the mayor, to our mayor, Andy Ginther, for confirmation. I can let you know that before that happens, Ms. Jacqueline Moore needs to sign a release, which I think she has already done. She has already, both candidates, submitted to a full background check, including a criminal background check, and all of that has been taken care of. So it is appropriate for us to literally forward her to the mayor, at this time. Again, I'll share with the board that it is my understanding, and so this evening, after we, well, actually, I see in the back of the room Director Brandon from HR. So actually, with this information, Director Brandon must now visit with Ms. Jacqueline Hendricks Moore around, what you would say, the contract and a signing of, and then there may be an offer letter, we move forward, that will come back to me, that I will need to sign. So at this point, before she goes to see the mayor, there is still some business that HR must conduct in terms of her work. If that all moves smoothly, she will go to see the mayor, and before Ms. Bishotti leaves, there will be a press conference at either 10 or 10:30. I will just tell you, as your chair, I had it for 10 or 10:30, but, you know, the chair will make it work. Just please let me know.
Get your paper and come to the press conference.
But that's what will happen. And again, just in terms of moving forward, I know that I will be having conversations with Ms. Jacqueline Hendricks Moore, as will individuals from the city. Folks are already putting together, when I would say, kind of an onboarding plan. They are working, on that. I certainly will have discussions with her about, sort of what's next. I mean, HR will work with her in terms of the hiring of her team. We talk about a budget, and I know that there's a number, and I have been assured by the administration that there will be dollars to get the work done. But all of that will probably kind of take place before our next board meeting. We'll communicate with the board if we get a start date. As soon as we find out when there's a start date, we'll let you know. And if it is before I don't know the date of our next meeting, but if she is in place before then, of course, she will be invited to our next board meeting. Are there any other questions at this time? Concerns? Then let me publicly, because we are public, say thank you to each and every board member. And that's all 11. I will say a special thank you to the folks who are on the interviewing committee. The time that you invested in this, I appreciate. To all of you, thank you for reviewing the materials. Thank you for viewing the virtual town hall meeting. And thank you for, in this room, an executive session, being candid with your thoughts. And I echo what one of our members said. We were in executive session. We can agree to disagree. And we should. We shouldn't come into these meetings thinking it's going to be sort of monolithic. So I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your input. I assure the citizens of Columbus that we really delved into candidates and feel that we brought you our two best candidates to this. And so with that, the chair would entertain a motion. Well, let me ask this further. Any further business? Then the chair entertains a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
You can choose, Colleen. All in favor, before you leave, would you please vote?
Okay, vote.
All in favor of adjourning? Thank you. We're adjourned.
Oh, meter that.